What's up, team? Brandon Rahi here from Go Headquarters, bringing you foam roller mobility. So we are gonna do a 10-minute lower body only foam roller option for you today. And I'm gonna be doing this with you on the clock. So just keep up with me, try to do fast transitions, modify as needed. Otherwise, let's basically get right to it. So I am using the most basic foam roller I could possibly come up with today. This is just a high density foam. This is basically like a really compressed pool noodle version. There are a bunch of fancy foam rollers out there. I don't care what you're using, so use what you've got. If you happen to have one of the shorter ones, no big deal. Some of the double leg moves, you might be a little bit out of space, so you need to allocate more time for the single leg versions, just because you don't have enough real estate on the foam roller to get both cheeks on there, both quads on there, whatever the case may be. So modify as needed, guys. But otherwise, let's get right to it. Using my little timer here. So we are going to start with a double glute position. So basically, I can sit behind the foam roller. I'm just gonna bridge up and take a seat on here. And we're basically gonna just be rolling over our entire glutes, right? Just really slow passes. One thing I would encourage right out of the gate is to relax. So if my muscles that I'm trying to foam roll are tense, like right now if I tense my glutes up, it's gonna kick the foam roller out. So try to relax the muscles that you're targeting and let that foam roller dig into you. So don't tense up, just like getting a massage, right? If you were getting a massage and you tense up in that area, that masseuse isn't gonna be able to get deep enough pressure. So try to relax and just breathe through these things and modify as needed. I'm mostly gonna demonstrate rolling through the workout today, but feel free to stop on pressure points or trigger points as you feel them, okay? So double legs, double glute position. Now we're just gonna go into a single glute. So I'm not really gonna change my position, I'm just gonna lean. So I'm picking up my right foot, you could even cross it over the left, and now I'm putting all my pressure on just my left glute, and I'm gonna hold this for 30 seconds. And I'm feeling a lot more pressure now that I have all my weight on just the one side. We'll kind of follow this routine a couple different times through the workout today. So just rolling from kind of the top of my glute all the way to the bottom. So now let's switch sides. So I'm gonna cross left over right and then lean over to my right. And you don't have to cross, you could just stack your legs, something like this. You could do a stagger stance, as long as most of the weight is getting to that one cheek, right? So we'll spend 30 seconds here on this right glute cheek. Don't forget to just breathe and relax through the process. I'm trying to do the least amount of work possible. All right, so that was 30 there. And we're gonna transition to the hamstrings. So I'm just gonna move back a little bit so that now my butt is off of the foam roller and I'm into that tissue from the bottom of the glute to the back of the knee, but we aren't gonna go onto the back of the knee. We're gonna stop just shy of it so you can see how my kneecap is maybe just a little bit that way of the foam roller. We tend to not wanna pressure the joints themselves when we're doing things like massage. So nice slow passes, getting right through the belly of the muscle. Still just breathing and relaxing. And if this was a lot of work, you could always just sit down and try to lean into it. I personally don't feel much pressure when I do that. I need to have my weight up off of the floor to dig in a little more. So we are not doing a single hamstring version, but you easily could pass this off to the side and put all your pressure onto one hamstring. We just aren't doing that today, but you could do that. And that applies to several things today. All right, so that was a minute there. We're now gonna do the same thing to the calf. So I'm gonna send this roller a little further. We're gonna start right into the mid calf, the belly of the muscle. So maybe this is enough pressure here with my butt on the ground if you're not used to foam rolling. Me, I'm used to it, so I need more pressure, so I need to bridge up. And you can see I'm kind of doing this little partial bridge here on my body. Just nice and smooth passes, doesn't need to be fast. You don't need a lot of repetition, you just need time under tension. For variance, you could roll your legs in and out. So like I'm turning my feet like this. You could just play with that. You could also do a single leg version. And then another way to add more pressure would be to cross this leg over. So now my left is crossed over my right and I'm bridged up. So now I'm at max pressure on that right calf. So that's pretty painful. So those are just variations, guys, for you to play with. But maybe you're just still here with this double leg, and that's cool. So that's a minute there. So now we're gonna go into the IT band. This tends to be the least comfortable. So now I'm in a side plank position, right? I could be on my forearm, I could be on my hand, I like to be down on my elbow, and we're gonna go from hip to knee. So I'm gonna start right in the middle of the meet, stacking my legs preferably, and now I'm kind of rolling laterally from hip to knee, okay? So most people are more comfortable with this at the hip. When it gets down to the mid-thigh and closer to the knee, it becomes more painful. So just try to breathe through that and relax. If you need to deload pressure, top hand, top leg, notice I can lift all the way off the foam roller, right? That's how strong that is. So you can self-regulate how much pressure you've got going on that leg. For me, I'm used to this again. I like a lot of pressure, so I'm gonna keep my legs stacked. We're still breathing, guys. All right, so that's a minute on that leg. Let's go ahead and switch legs. You guys can just turn over. I'm trying to face the camera. So same deal. Again, regulating if I need to with the top leg and the top arm. Otherwise, apply pressure as needed. Continue to breathe and relax. If you are tense and you're holding your breath, that means the muscles are tight, and that means it's kicking the foam roller out. So you're not getting in there as deep if you are tense. So try to relax, regulate the pain enough to allow you to relax. Easier said than done on the IT band. For most of us watching this will be the most painful move out of this whole workout is this IT band. But it does get better with time and practice. So like I'm pretty comfortable here, but it still is higher on the pain scale than these other body parts. We've only got a couple more seconds here, so give me one more breath. All right, so now let's just transition. When this thing's about mid-thigh, I would just transition down to a front plank. So now I'm belly down and we're just rolling the quads. So everything from basically hip to knee, we're just right here on the front of the thigh. So we're doing a double quad version. We are gonna do a single leg version of this. So we're gonna spend a minute on the double leg, and then we're gonna do 30-second intervals per leg on this. Now, one thing you can change here too that doesn't get discussed enough is to rotate your legs. So you can try, instead of your feet being pointing forward, you can try to turn them out, and that will kind of hit the inner thigh just a little bit more. That's a variation you can play with. I'm gonna go about 15 more seconds here on the double quad. Still breathing, just chilling out. You can stop on any painful points. So now, since I have a long roller, I'm just gonna kick this off to the side and do a single leg. Maybe turn to the camera so you guys can see that. So I'm just on one leg here, and I'm gonna stay here on for 30 seconds. So the leg that's off the foam roller can stay up in a plank. I could even lay that knee down and just relax that side, but I'm still able to move along the length of my quad on this side. So we're gonna go about 5 more seconds here on this one leg. And if you guys have more time, feel free to repeat this routine or just hold these things for longer. So now let's switch legs. So I'll send this to the other side. So now I'm just hitting my left quad. My right leg will stay clear of that foam roller. So we'll be here for another 20 seconds. Sorry, I'm trying to do 30 seconds. Talking to the camera eats up some time. Still breathing. Clearly more painful, right? Once we go to the single leg version, we've got more weight on it, so we're gonna feel more feedback. All right, so now all we're gonna do is same position we were just in, but we're gonna bring the foam roller higher into this hip flexor area. So we kind of wanna hit the upper quad to about here, to about the waistband. We're hitting right in here in this hip flexor area. So we're just gonna do this one leg at a time, and we'll be here for a minute. And again, kind of relaxing. This tends to be a not painful spot for most people. It is hard to get into our hip flexors really deep. There are actually some specific tools like the So-Right that are designed to get in there. But that doesn't mean that we don't try with some casual measures like a foam roller. So still a good spot to hit. So this from the side, so you can see the range that I'm maybe working in. Again, I'm trying to relax. We're gonna go 10 more seconds on this leg. You can always stop on trigger points. Don't feel like you have to keep rolling. All right, so that's a minute. Let's trade to the other leg. Send that through. Fine tune your position and then just relax and settle into it. There's no pressure for any specific black and white rules here. It's just what's comfortable and what feels good. I'm gonna do about 40 more seconds. I'm trying to keep this to be just a 10-minute routine for you guys. So I can call it a 10-minute routine. Still breathing. You can play with rotations of that leg like we did earlier, right? You can have the toes pointing out one time, neutral for another batch of seconds, rotate it in. You'll feel how that affects some different lines. So we've got about 10 more seconds here, so we're still breathing. Take another deep breath or two and we'll be there. And there is the 10-minute mark. Awesome. And then just a slow exit. Perfect. Good job, guys. So that is a quick 10-minute foam roller, lower body only routine. Give that a shot after your next leg workout. Would be either a great warm-up and or great cool down, or just to use on any off day. Maybe you're recovering from a hard leg session or a long run or something like that. Your legs feel a little beat up and you don't want to do strength training or conditioning on them that day. So this would be a great way to get some circulation going, get rid of some of that unbound water, and just feel better. So give that a shot, and we'll see you next time.